Hey guys, and welcome to my video on Stranding 2 road building. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to build roads fast, optimize your process, and basically make it as fun as possible. It being said, it is pretty fun and satisfying getting these roads built. So essentially the materials we're going to be using to build roads are metal and ceramics, and these materials are relatively prolific, ceramics being the rarer of the other one. But what we want to do is we want to basically visit facilities, and then under the fabrication and management and claim materials tab, we can basically claim materials from the facility. And those would be ceramics and metals that we want for the roads. So the idea is to claim these materials and basically drive them, because they're going to be quite hard to carry all the way, to the kiosks where you can then construct the roads from and basically place the materials in there. We're going to want to build our star rating, which is essentially our porter grade, with the facilities, so then we can claim more materials from them. So we want to be doing deliveries in that region to begin with. Once we have claimed the materials, we're going to want to load them onto our vehicle or carry them on our back and get in the vehicle if we're using a tri-cruiser. Sometimes the tri-cruiser is basically preferable because it's easy to get over terrain, but essentially you do want to move into using the larger vehicles to transport more metals and ceramics, and the larger truck vehicles, basically their trunk, as they can hold a lot more materials. So as you can see, I drive to the end of the road where I have no longer constructed any of the road, and just beyond this will be the kiosk for the next section of the road. You can actually find this kiosk in your world map. If you have scanned the area as well, it will just pop up and you'll be able to set a marker and drive there. But essentially it's just going to be not much further than the part of the road that you've already built have. So basically you want to make use of all the regions and draw from the ceramics and metals as you go. Just be aware that obviously when you're fabricating gear at a facility, it uses materials like metals and ceramics. So if you use up all the metals and ceramics, then you're not going to be able to fabricate any materials or equipment gear that requires metals and ceramics, if that makes sense. But yeah, you just want to essentially make the most of what metals and ceramics become available at these facilities as you progress, and you're going to want to utilize them for road building. And essentially it's the same thing for monorail repairs or monorail building. It's going to be using resins and special alloys instead, though, not metals and ceramics. But once you've unlocked the roads and you've progressed the road development, you can then make deliveries much easier between the different locations of the Australian inhabitants, people that live in the bunkers that you make deliveries to. It's going to become a whole lot easier and more fun, essentially, and you're going to be able to do larger deliveries using the road with the truck, and you're going to be able to get quite easy high porter grades doing so. What I would recommend is playing on brutal when doing deliveries. If the combat's a bit hard, you can turn it off for that, but you'll just get Legend of Legends, which is the highest rank for those deliveries. So this is me in an enemy encampment. This is another way of grabbing metals and ceramics and other materials. So you basically want to clear out the encampment, as you'll encounter them as you're building the roads as well. As you progress further into the map, you're going to be encountering these enemy encampments. You're going to want to essentially take a truck. You're wanting to clear out all the enemies, and it'll tell you, once you've done that, it'll come up on your screen saying this area is now secure, and you just want to hold square over the items, and you can just literally toggle up, and if you're holding square, it'll automatically select everything you hover over. So it's much faster than pressing X every single time, and you just grab everything that's there, and then you're going to want to recycle all that equipment that you don't want. to keep, recycle that at the facility, and then you'll get more materials which you can then use for more crafting, and it's going to make it even more efficient, essentially. Another thing with another tip I would recommend is there's lots of animations in this game. Like, you can actually skip basically nearly every animation. So when you make a delivery, you hold down X, it skips that. And then it'll go to the next cutscene, and then you can skip that again. And it just saves a whole lot of time, is just holding X during any sort of animation or cutscene, and it's going to speed up, especially the ones that happen over and over that you may get tired of seeing, such as the delivery animation. So yeah, that is a fundamental basics of road building. What I would recommend as well is just making sure that you are properly prepared for combat or BTs if you are sort of progressing further into the region where you may be encountering these things. So always carry just like a few guns, and obviously you want to be carrying footwear. You can craft a few boots and strap them to your suit, and that is going to make things a lot easier, and you won't get caught out, essentially. But as long as you're close to the road and you have a vehicle, you can always basically survive. And yeah, if you do want to get further or deeper into the road building, it sort of has diminishing returns, because if there's a kiosk that is not on the Chiral network, then it's going to take a lot of materials to basically construct that road, because when you're connected to the Chiral network, or in a region connected to the Chiral network I should say, the kiosk is shared in terms of, parts of the road could actually already get built without you even adding any materials if you're there long enough. But other players will add materials, and then that will add a certain portion of metals and ceramics to that kiosk, making it a whole lot easier for you to basically get it to the required amount for the road to be constructed. And in this one, here you can see in this clip, I am using zip lines. If you already have sort of a dedicated zipline network, this is also a very helpful way to basically get materials from one place to another. Essentially in this one, I was very close to finishing a kiosk, and I had zip lines to another inhabitant that had the materials I needed. I believe it was some ceramics mainly, a few metals, and I basically just used a zip line to grab those materials, head back to that kiosk and finish off that road, and then I could progress deeper into the road building part of the map and start clearing out enemy encampments, grabbing more ceramics, more metals from the inhabitants and facilities, and doing deliveries. So once you sort of do encounter a new region, I just would recommend doing a few deliveries to open up, get members on the Chiral network there before jumping right into road building, and that's going to be, in the long run, the fastest way to do it. Cool, so I hope these tips helped, guys. Really appreciate you watching my video. So yeah, if you liked it, then maybe subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye.